Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. What's up? What's up? What's up? Let me know if you can hear me, please. Hey, if you're watching, let me know if you can hear me because I have a external microphone on today and testing out. That's definitely not my credentials. Of course, I gotta verify, right? Hold on one sec. I'm trying to get my iPad set up here. Should be in business. Oh man. Check, check.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Gosh, what a royal pain in the butt. Gosh, what a royal pain in the butt. All right, well, if you just jumped in here, hanging out, a few minutes before I go into work, and figured I'd just jump in here and see if anybody was bored and wanted to shoot the crap, talk shop. Behind me, I got the Onefinity Woodworker. you have any questions on the machine or anything CNC related, feel free to let me know. Got my chat open. So I've had the Onefinity since 2019, and thing's a beast. I've only had an issue with it 2 times. One time was I had a half a sheet of plywood on there, and I was cutting out some they call them picklers, and the machine shifted about like 3 inches on the X. I couldn't figure it out, and what I ended up learning was that I had updated the firmware on the machine back then, right before, and this is like 3 years ago. I updated the firmware right before I did the cut, but I had already had the cut loaded into the software to cut. So what I ended up doing was I went back to the old firmware, and I had no issues at all. But what I learned is it wasn't the firmware that caused it. It was the fact that the file was in the machine before I updated the firmware. So I'll just chalk it up as the file became corrupted. Because if I deleted the file and put it back on, it was completely fine. So, you know, everybody online was saying you probably got some electromagnetic interference, and I was like, no, I don't. So go with your gut if you think you got something going on. So this guy, I was testing it out. I wanted to do a wavy flag on the machine instead of doing it by hand with the angle grinder. So I designed this one in Aspire. This is a 1-inch piece thick of wood, and I still got a little over half an inch on the lowest spots. So if you're interested in doing a wavy flag, it is possible, right? And that was more of like a prototype test. I think it took about 2 hours to cut. So it's not that bad. You figure if you wanted to make a bunch of them for a show and you don't want to sit there with the angle grinder and do a bunch of sanding, my advice is you load this on and let it start its cut. And then after the first one's done, you can work on painting the first one while the second one cuts. Obviously, if you guys have been doing this for a while, you'll know what methods work for you. Bits. So this bit's my favorite bit. I should probably clean it anyway. So this is the 60-degree. Well, for starters, 60-degree V-bit is my most used bit. This particular bit is made by, well, it's by Cody's, right? This is a 60-degree down cut V-bit. Obviously, you know what down cut means. If you don't, it means it pushes the wood down. Wasn't very clear. See if I can get a clear shot. This bit is a 1/4 inch shank, and the bit itself is 3/8 thick. All right. On top of using this to cut just about everything I do, I also use it on my spoil board. So I'll take you over to there. So you see here I have 2 dowels sitting there, right? This I just squared something off because I was doing some work. But I have to update my spoil board pretty soon anyway. I'm getting close to the T-tracks there. But either or, because when I did my spoil board, I wasn't perfectly square on the MDF. It's pretty close. But what I do is I take my 3/8, or not my 3/8, my 60-degree V-bit, I throw it into the router, and I bring it over close, and I bring it down and drill a hole. Since it's 3/8, I just take a 3/8 dowel, and then I'll stay on the same axis and move it over, put another one. So when I'm cutting flags or signs or anything like that, I just slide them down, touch it, and then we're good. Sorry about that. While I was talking, I heard somebody sound like they were walking in my driveway. It's just one of my cats. Anyway, not staying on here too long, so if anybody had questions, feel free to ask away. The other most used bit that I use would be a 1/8 end mill. Typically, I just get them from Amazon. If you go through my videos, I have a video that says it's like CNC for Dummies, and it's, I forget which episode it was that I made, but I talked about what bits that I use. So if you go on Amazon, it's made by HQ. I just use 1/8 end mill straight bits. They're like 10 to 15 bucks, and you get like 10 of them, and they last a pretty long time. I mean, I did a project last year where I cut out like 55 different type serving trays, and I cut all 55 of them out with one bit. So, you know, as long as you run your speeds correctly and all that good stuff, your bit should last. I'm always pretty conservative with my depths per pass. Some people will say, "Oh, well, it's a 1/8. I'm going to cut it at almost 1/8," which obviously you don't want to max that, but I usually cut on average with my 1/8 like 0.06 per pass, so about half, so about a 16th. I find that to leave a nice clean cut, and it also saves the bits. My bits last longer. I mean, I think I still have bits. I think I still have 1/8 bits that I bought before I even had the Onefinity when I was using the Bob's CNC. I may have broken 4 bits in the last, maybe 5 bits in the last 5 years. And I'm going to say that 80% of those were my fault. clamp in the wrong spot, it hits it, breaks. Brad nails in the wrong spot, breaks. Yeah, I'm keeping an eye on the chat. I don't see anybody typing anything, so. It's a piece of plywood. In case you're curious, does plywood work for unions? You can see this. Looks just fine to me. You do see the layers in there, but overall it cut really nice. By the way, that's a friend of mine's shop, Rough Dick Designs. Look at him up online. He does a lot of custom furniture, stuff like that. He's the real deal. Still yet to finish doing a baseball bat. So if you're watching this, if you've ever done one, shoot in the comments. What did you do? What was your jig setup like? This is always at the bottom of my totem pole, but I want to design a jig to hold it so you can just mass produce and cut, not make the baseball bat, just carve them. I'm trying to think what else. Favorite wood. What's my favorite wood? I think that aside from black walnut, this would be my favorite wood. Just brush it off. It's got dust all over it. This is my favorite wood. Teak wood. It doesn't warp. At least a piece has never warped for me. Well, take that back. I just carved one last week to put my cat's water bowl on because he keeps shooting his water all over, and that did warp. But teak wood's very durable. Normal type conditions, it lasts pretty long. It lasers very nice. I do have a laser mounted to my machine. It's not on there right now, but I have the JTEX 7 watt. It's done what I needed it to do. I wish it had a little bit of a stronger laser, but because I can't seem to cut through anything with the 7 watt. But it does like wallets, keychains pretty well. Like, here's a keychain. This one's actually pretty funny. It says Phillies World Series 2023. And if you follow baseball, you know that we didn't win the World Series. So I have 50 of those that I made that are either going in the trash, going in the fire pit, or they're getting sanded down. It's kind of funny. What else? What other wood laser's pretty good? Really, any hardwood laser's very nice. Maple. Obviously, the darker the wood, a little bit harder to see laser because you're going to be dark on dark. But maple works real well. Pine wood, I've lasered that a couple times. I didn't really like the way it turns out. It doesn't come out real dark. Yeah, I felt like I could have just carved it and painted it. It would have looked better. But oak laser is real nice. Obviously, any hardwood. Teak wood. I laser teak wood a lot. I'll do a lot of decorative congratulations signs when people buy houses, stuff like that. But what else? Let's see if I got some other flags I've made here. So these two are trash. So this is actually a funny story. If you can see this, I was making this for a friend of mine. So I bought this file on Etsy, right? Even though I have my own Etsy store, I make my own files. I always like to go in once a month or so and buy a file from somebody. Support your local businesses, all that good stuff. But I bought a bulk file for billiard signs, and this particular sign cut perfectly until you got over to this last line. You can see the last three letters shifted up. The exclamation point shifted up a little bit. So I could not figure out for the life of me. I cut 3 of these signs. They all came out the same. If I looked at them on easel, couldn't see an issue. If I looked at them on ncviewer.com, by the way, if you've never used that, it's a great program. ncviewer.com. Just drop your G-code file in there, and it'll give you a nice render of it. But the issue with this one, I ended up redoing the design myself, and it cut perfect. So I still, to today, I have no idea what was causing that. I don't think I really care at this point. Here's some old ones I made. They're quite dusty. So this is the classic Marines Semper Fi. Hold that up for a second so you can see it. Love this flag. Here's one that I had started making, and then I decided to recut it because the red oil-based Sharpies that I was using decided to turn pink. Plus, everything that was black, I wanted it to be reversed. So I could still use this flag in the future. It might be starting to crack. Yeah, this is another issue I'm starting to see with these big box store, these stain ready panel boards. You know, like for real, Lowe's, Home Depot. Get your shit together, man. Learn how to glue wood together. Like, nobody's stain ready boards should start breaking where they're glued up. Like, that just shouldn't happen. So clearly, whoever you got gluing boards together doesn't know what they're doing. Start doing some quality control, guys. Well, we got almost 3:40. Had fun talking to myself for the last 20 minutes. But yeah, drop me a comment. Let me know if I should do some shop talk more often. One last thing that I had made. Here's a Fender Telecaster body. So this thing's pretty much trash. I cut 2 of them. One I painted black. It's covered in scratch marks and all that. But this is poplar. The issue is the cutout of the body. I should have told it to cut on the outside of the path, and I didn't. So as a result, the neck fits in there perfect, but it hangs over about 1/8 of an inch. So, I mean, it could be used, but I would never try to sell this to somebody because They're just going to be calling me when they put their neck on it. So I'll just use it as a display. The other one I made actually has a neck on it and has the pickups in it and everything. I can play it, but again, I would never like sell it unless somebody was really like, "Hey, I want to buy that," even though it's a mistake. I would probably sell it then. But yeah, if you go onto my Etsy store, it's Etsy.com. What's it? Etsy.com/shop/that wooden flag. I have a ton of ready to cut G code files. I got a bunch of SVGs I made. I have a couple people that use Easel that now what we do is they'll message me with an idea or a picture, and then I'll turn it into a file for them. But because they use Easel, I give everybody that does that their own Easel link. So as they need things made, I just add it to their file, and they can go to their link and download the copy right there. It's easy, convenient if you're using Easel. If you're not and you need an SVG, shoot me a message. I got a couple things in the shop there, like this is custom files. So one file's $10, two's 20s, three's 30, etc. But anyway, hope you all enjoy your Easter weekend. Enjoy time with your families. If you're hunting for eggs, make sure you let the little ones get their eggs first. Other than that, happy holidays, happy Easter, and I hope you all have a great weekend. Take it easy. Till next time, we shall talk again.